Welcome back to Beards and Brews. This week is going to be Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. This is, I don't know what to think of this movie. I think I like it, but it's not a good movie.
Mad Max Beyond Neverland.
I don't
Oh,
think it's a
no.
bad movie. Like,
I didn't say
okay,
that.
I've
I
seen
didn't say it
all
was
of
good.
up until this. I had seen all of all of the Mad Max films. Aside from this one, I'd seen the original Road Warrior and Fury Road. All of them were pretty good. Road Warrior and Fury Road actually pretty great. This is supposed to be the least good of them all, and it is.
I'm glad we're on the same kind of track. Cause,
But no,
I'm not.
I liked it.
No, I liked it too. I said that, but it's not good. There's something weird about this movie. That this movie has three distinct acts, and after the first one, it's a completely different movie.
Yep.
But
It goes
they
from
based
Mad Max
they based
to
a Tupac video on it. How bad can it be?
What was this like? Nothing but trouble.
What?
Dick knows.
But this movie takes place X amount of years after Mad Max 2: Electric Didgeridoo.
It's fuck.
It's an extremely simple premise per se, because everybody's on board about Thunderdome. When people think back to it, they think of two go in, one man leaves, and it's in pop culture. I get it, but that's
There's exactly
legitimately
one Thunderdome scene.
yes, and I kind of understand now why it's called Beyond Thunderdome, because that shit is just the first 40 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, and then it goes way beyond it.
I feel like maybe George Miller wanted to make a Spielberg movie, because I was getting some super duper Indiana Jones vibes out of the last.
Man, I got notes of exactly when they do it. They steal some indie scenes.
I definitely got a little bit of Indiana Jones vibe, a little bit of a Star Wars vibe too.
Yeah, because George Lucas and Spielberg, they have that same little movie magic in them. So for some reason, it just feels like Indiana Jones and the Thunder of Dome.
Oh no.
Okay.
Who runs Bartertown? Ike runs Bartertown, bitch.
Vern Troyer.
Oh, I just kept thinking of Vern Troyer.
Yeah.
Did anyone else get really confused later on in the film when he goes from BDSM warlord to suddenly overly sophisticated scientist in a bowler hat?
Yeah, I don't know where he got those clothes.
That's the real character arc in this movie. We leave him alone for an hour.
It's not like he can just throw on anyone's clothes. Those have to be
tailored. Yeah,
right.
Someone made him that little fancy suit.
Post-apocalyptic Australia was just covered in really tiny hoity-toity Englishmen with bowler hats.
And, leather-clad Hare Krishna guys.
War boys, on point.
I haven't seen this for a while, and we were discussing Waterworld the other day, me and Chandler were. And fuck, did Waterworld steal everything from this film? There's water scenes, where he's like, "Oh, you want some water?" And the dude tastes it, and he's like, "It's radioactive." And then you got Mel Gibson bzz, 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 fucking.
What's a little fallout, eh?
Yeah.
But the way we're kind of introduced to this movie is we see a camel-drawn wagon just scooting across the desert.
Hang on.
Sorry.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm going to interrupt. No, we're introduced to this movie with some music that does not fit the rest of this movie. It is fucking some Tina Turner pop bullshit that has nothing to do with it. I legitimately I was just gobsmacked. I was like, is this what this movie's going to feel like? Just some people killing each other in the desert with some pop music playing along? What's happening?
You get Tina Turner and her music for the price of one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because she is every woman.
No?
No? Hold on.
Google.
Yeah. No, that's Whitney Houston. Fuck, what did Tina Turner do then?
Proud Mary and Ike Turner.
Oh,
no!
Yeah, that was, alright, we should just cut all of this.
Hit me again, Ike, and this time put some stank on it.
No, I have to leave it in.
No, that's bad. That's all bad. All of this is bad.
We are introduced to this movie with Didgeridoo cart theft disguised as father-son bonding.
It's this odd thing, like, it's so out of nowhere, you don't know why or who or whatever is happening at this point.
Nope,
So
I don't know any of those things.
Well, what I'm trying to convey is, like, it just kind of happens and you realize, oh, it's Max. Oh, alright.
Mel of Arabia. Did anyone else, whenever he finally makes it, the whole big thing is, oh no, the guy from the second film with the whirly-copter steals his fucking cart, rides off into Bartertown. Max picks up the whistle, completely like, oh, foreshadowing, what's this thing do? Blows in it, it's a whistle.
Yeah.
But when they get to the fucking town, he goes to this trader guy, and I was like, holy shit, this is the exact scene from Force Awakens.
Which bit?
You get
a
two
little bit, actually, yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah. Simon Pegg in his little fat suit again.
the fucking guy who's the trader, he's got some really, not good, but just make you go, what scenes? Because later, when Thunderdome's exploding, he's just sitting there, not moving, not gesticulating, not doing anything, just sitting there while the fucking place blows up. And the next thing you see, he's like over there with Tina, like, we're gonna get Max. And it's like, when the fuck did that happen?
I think it works. I mean, it's a lot of nonsense, but he makes it believable. Like, just the way he delivers. In fact, like, the first probably 15 minutes of this movie, even though it's kind of quick, it works. I dig it. Like, we catch up with Max, and suddenly he's in a fucking bigger pile of shit, and suddenly he has to get his shit back. Well, how does he get his shit back? Thunderdome. Boom, title of the movie. Alright, we're already on track, and I'm already kind of interested.
But are you? Because this guy's got one good line, and that's it. When Mel's like, I'm looking for work, and he goes, psh, brothel's full. And then we're treated to the first indie ripoff scene, where the guy jumps down because he's a guard, and he's like, let me twirl my swords, and fucking Mel Gibson just turns around and shoots his double-barrel shotgun and blows his mohawk off. Because this is very family-friendly Mad Max.
It kind of is, yeah. There's even kids in it and whatnot. And I do enjoy, like, when he gets his...
Only one person dies, and it's a plot point.
Only one important person dies.
Because everyone always dies off-screen.
I can think of 3. Anyways. But, like, I enjoy, like, when that guy, like, jumps down and gets his, like, mohawk blown off, and everybody's like, huh, forgot the guns were a thing. Alright, this guy's good.
Yeah, man, this fucking knife on a stick that I got, it's not what it used to be.
Well, see, the guards, they aren't allowed to have guns because you can't have weapons in town. Because we get that whole, Last Action Hero cartoon bit where, they're like, hey, you gotta leave your weapons here. And he's like, so many weapons! Like,
yeah,
he's got
just has all his entire arsenal out of his pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's a cut of this on YouTube where it's 10 hours long. You just, like, nothing but just guns and just equipment.
The fucking inventory dump, just bloop, 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 bloop. Took him so long to get there because it was over encumbered.
And then when they stroll fucking Max through town after this, he's looking like fucking Ric Flair coming to the ring with his robe and his entourage.
Fuck yes. And, okay, they take him with that gigantic entourage. He just fired a gun within town. Every fucking eye in the city is on him, and the first thing that Tina Turner's like saying is, hey, I don't want anyone to know that we're talking. It's like, motherfucker, you live in a skyrise, and he just came up the open air elevator to your house after causing this entire scene. Everyone saw him. Everyone.
And I like how she just has like a guy on retainer just to play the sax.
Epic
So,
sax.
I mean, she may be a piece of shit, but she's a woman of culture.
Is she a piece of shit? I don't know.
Well, yeah, she made struck that whole deal just to assassinate that guy in the fucking pig shit area. I mean, just out of spite.
We talking about Corky? Oblade, oblada. Ah, la 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 la. His life don't go on. Did you notice that her exposition was expressed lyrically?
No.
Not at all.
Whenever he,
the only thing I noticed that everything that she said just kind of sucked.
Like, I forgot to write down the lines, but she says it like sing-songy, like it's just like one of her lyrics or something from a song, like just another little jab that she's Tina Turner and she sings.
Uh,
But yeah, pretty much the idea here is Max goes in. She's like, "I need you to kill a guy, and nobody can know that you're working for Auntie." That's me. I'm Auntie. I don't know why she's Auntie.
kind of like the old lady that makes all the cookies that come in the thing, Auntie whatever.
Probably not her.
I'm over here sweating, trying to make the fucking, trying not to make the Aunt Jemima reference, but
Good move.
We find out that everything in the city runs on pig shit and methane. There's methane generated from hundreds of pigs. Just pig shit.
Shit! Energy!
Yeah,
I mean, little bit of A, little bit of B.
but a lot of fucking C.
Has to prove his worth by fighting off all of her goons. Including like a much shorter version of the lead singer of Disturbed.
Good lord. Yeah, it was like it was a little bit of a ploy. Like, it's like, okay, come with us, we'll get what you need. And it was a test, if you can beat the shit out of everybody in the room, you can at least go ahead and get the deal, and we'll do the whole Thunderdome thing.
No, it was a test. Sure.
Become like superhuman because he like grabs that pole and fucking catapults guy with it. And it's like, whoa, that dude's like 180 pounds and you just fucking launched him?
It's okay, he turned on his mad.
Didn't have his limp in this one?
Oh yeah, that's right. He even got strung up by his leg later on, and it's just kind of whatever.
Yeah, I know. It's, these are the things that I thought were really cool about the first two. He retained an injury from movie to movie, which was like, oh man, that's the first time I've seen that. That's fucking awesome. Not like Bruce Willis was like, oh, my feet hurt in Die Hard 2. He didn't, it's never referenced again. But Mad Max made that reference, and you're like, oh, that's really neat. And then all of a sudden he's like, whatever, my hair's longer, and I'm fine.
Well, maybe in between the two movies, Bernie got elected and they got Medicare for all.
Doesn't matter which future it is, real future or movie future, Australia winds up burnt to the ground.
Damn.
Oh. So who's this guy he's supposed to kill?
One half of a duo known as Master Blaster.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is an absolute bop song by Stevie Wonder.
Did you know that Master Blaster can in fact beat most men with his breath alone?
He's a strong guy, but with the mind of a child.
Well, yeah, but did you see his teeth?
Is very, what's his name from Goonies?
I definitely wrote down Sloth.
Yeah, Sloth. See? He's trying to just, steal from Mr. Spielberg over there, Mr. Miller. I see you over there. All upside down and whatnot.
Down a scope to take a peek at all this before they threw poop on it? Like a submarine scope going underground, Whatever. And I thought that was very Mystery Science Theater, like this fucking thing just protruding through the ceiling wherever it wanted to see whatever it needed to.
It kind of reminded me of that nozzle thing from the Venture Brothers.
Oh, yeah, okay. Nice. Good reference.
Like I said earlier, this movie kind of happens quickly, but it's pretty good. There's a lot of setup and a lot of good payoff. So he accepts the deal to go kill this Master Blaster. But in order to get close to him to maybe find a weakness, he has to go underground to his little factory, or his shit factory, rather.
The shit factory, yep.
Not shit, energy!
He gets a job down there and everything, starts shoveling energy around. And he makes a little bit of he makes a ruckus and all that stuff.
That might be a poop. How's your day? It's energy.
Oh, nice. Feel like energy today.
Get away with a lot with that. But yeah, he gets to meet the character number 6, some random convict guy. It's like, I killed a pig and fed it to my kids. Now I serve life. Good thing life's only 2 to 3 years here in Poop Town.
Yeah.
Down here in Shit Town, life is 2 to 3 years. Master Blaster lives in Shit Town. So if Tina, Auntie, just waited, put up with this nonsense for a couple more years, he would die.
Well, no, it's probably 2 to 3 years for the scrubs, but Master Blaster.
He's got plus 2 to
farther
2.
down.
I got you.
Yeah, it's pretty bad for the hard labor guys, but for good old Master, just hanging out on Blaster, he's got that free ride on his back.
So, there's suddenly a mechanic trying to take a bomb off of Max's car, which, again, you won't see again for the rest of the film.
I like this guy. He's so happy.
Yeah, he's like, hey, there's a bomb on here. Let me explain everything. And then Max is like, don't do that. And Master goes, you're smart. You fix it. And he goes, nope, not going to do it. And he goes, well, I run Bartertown. He's like, fuck you do. He goes, psh, watch this. Shuts the entire town down to prove a point.
Embargo.
I'm just turns off that shit nozzle.
Yeah, but who the fuck is Max to him that he needs to shut the town down to be like, me?
But I like how he was totally cool about being lifted off the ground by his neck.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you better prove it. I don't care that you're choking me to death. You better prove it.
Yeah.
Because the no-name man killing me ain't going to work. But if you're a real character, you might just do it.
He's like, I'm going to kill you. Not if I kill me first, bitch.
Poop Town, 3 years. He's like, oh, okay, I guess you are the boss. Because he makes Tina Turner go, Master Blaster runs Bartertown over the PA for the whole town to hear. None of which seemed to give a fuck.
No.
It's kind of getting uncomfortable, too. I was like, stop, I get it.
Yeah, it's like, you run it. Now, this is a movie that, substance-wise, I couldn't find anything to really be like, oh man, plot hook really got me going. I was just waiting for the action to start. But I will say this, for, world building and set design, they knocked it out of the park. Everything that you see in this film looks so fucking cool. I wish they would have just done more with it.
This movie does a really good job of showing you like what you first feel is nonsense, and then it kind of pulls you into it. It happens a couple times in this movie because things change abruptly.
You say showing you what you think is nonsense, like it's not actually nonsense. There's a lot of nonsense. I love it, but it's still nonsense.
Nonsense, not in the way of like maybe a harsh critique, but it throws you into a world you're just like, man, that's just a lot of shit, both figuratively and literally. Then suddenly I'm just like, huh, tell me more.
Like when we get into the actual Thunderdome scene that's coming up, we've got this Salvador Dali looking motherfucker that's, I guess, like the ringleader of the whole thing.
It's another little character that I like. He's just so in it. He just brings like a little bit of life.
He's like, the town crier. He's out there getting exposition all over the place.
I'm just like, how did you end up the way that you did? Especially like with those guys with like the big, I don't know, furry things on their head. Like, what choices brought you to that?
I feel like it's either like be a freak, be a shit shoveler, or be that guy. He made a wise decision.
Yeah, he did. He's got like all the weird bitches because he's like, look, I put my arms out constantly and talk in a fanciful manner. I have your attention now, yes? Yeah, you do. Good! Take your panties off.
He's like, bitches, how do you feel about leather? Beautiful.
Well, I don't know, sir. I don't like it. To the shit shoveling.
Let me take you home to meet my pet anteater.
I understand that reference.
Oh, do you? Good. I'm glad.
So during all this, Max, is testing a theory, and he takes out his whistle, and he blows it. And guess what? Blaster does not like loud noise. So he was not present during the filming of the music video with Tupac at the oversized jungle gym.
Just comes back.
I think it's just high-pitched noises, really. Like, there's all kinds of explosions and shit, like crowds and shit making lots of noises. It's like the high-pitched shit that he's just like, oh!
And I was really confused by one of the scenes that happens here, too. He, like, blows the whistle, and Master, because Blaster is like, Frankenstein, hate fire, and, knocks him off his back. Master is completely... He's done. That's it. Without Blaster, he was useless. It was like almost he was like an invalid. He was just laying there like a turtle stuck on his back.
I think that's why they kind of worked out, because actually, I don't even know how they would kind of get together, but since he was the brains, he could just tell him what to do. And the guy had no brains, so he just followed along.
What kills me is the fact that they set this up and you're like, okay, it's a codependency. I like this symbiosis of these two, beings. And then all of a sudden...
No, it's just parasitism.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, and so he's over there doing his thing all of a sudden, and he's fine. Like, he's fucking in the dapper suit on a train running shit. Like, I know how to work a phonogram. And you're like, well, what the fuck?
Maybe he's from the old...
He's old enough. He knows things.
stuff and things.
Oh yeah, it's
Yes.
time for a fucking apocalyptic Cirque du Soleil.
Oh no, I had that written down. That's good. You can have it.
There was so much extravagance for a place where power is so rare.
What are you
Very
talking
true.
about? They got all kinds of pig shit.
Yeah, but I mean, like you got methane and that's cool, but they fucking fired up a big spinny sign. There was a goddamn electric chair slide for Tina Turner.
We just spoke about that guy who's basically the ringleader. The world ended. I mean, nothing's ended human showmanship. It's about that post-apocalyptic pizzazz.
All right, fair enough. Now, she said, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next edition of Thunderdome." And I was like, "Edition?"
It's pay-per-view.
Yeah, like I was confused by that.
I need like a Mad Max 2.5. I need to know what happened between Road Warrior and Thunderdome.
I was thinking about it, like, maybe I have to watch Mad Max 2 again, but like, what happened to his fucking Interceptor?
They had it somehow. He was like, "That's my car." And he was like, "Yeah, I know. Too bad." And then that's the last of it. It's just like, come on, man, that's the car. Like, that's the fucking movie. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But now we're gifted with a bungee battle with Moose from The Fanatic.
And this movie tries really hard to make this look badass.
I think it looks pretty badass. They got like hammers and chainsaws and shit like strapped up to the, I guess you could call it, ceiling of this oversized jungle gym.
They are human javelins darting around like Peter Pan or some shit.
They're just fucking bouncing around with like bungee cords. I don't know. It looks real fun.
Happened several times. Mel Gibson got a hold of Blaster's legs, and they had to do a hard cut because there was nothing he could do. It was done.
Yeah, there's a lot of dangling and flailing and just kind of bumping into each other, really.
I don't know.
Yeah.
This is some ECW shit, boys.
Look, it took a minute, but as soon as Big Daddy from BioShock got that random glaive, things started getting
Nice.
great.
The best part of that is that when he starts lunging around with it, he Max jukes him out, and it goes right into the crowd, and 4 people are just like, "Oh no!"
We've been impaled! But then it was also like, again, it's supposed to be cool. I get it. It is what it is. But he's literally just going, if this was a video game, the bottom left of the screen to the top right, back to the bottom left, over and over and over, and Blaster's just like, "I don't get it!" Just charging back and forth.
Well, because Blaster is,
He's what? What is he? He's
uh,
a full human being that deserves our respect.
he's got the mind of a child and the teeth of one too. We gotta stop doing these kind of movies.
Oh man.
Like, the whole time he's running around with that helmet on, I was like, this looks like what Friday the 13th would really be if someone captured Jason. They were like, what are we going to do with this dude? We can't kill him. We'll put him in this cage and put convicts in there. It'd be fun. Just duke it out with a madman.
It's classified as entertainment. Let him have at it.
I mean, isn't that just what happens in Australia anyway? This doesn't even have to be like the apocalypse.
But Max gets a hold of his whistle, and all of a sudden there's a whack-a-mole style beatdown until the helmet from Corky comes off, and he's like, "Smile," and it's such a touching reunion.
Uh-oh.
Until
Is it a
Mel,
reunion?
yeah, because Mel's like, "This wasn't part of the deal," and little Blasters or Masters running in there like, "Down, he's got the mind of a child," and he's all hugging up on him, which is real fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah, like what wasn't part of the deal? Just kill him. That's all he had to do.
Well,
That
did you
confused me.
not get weirded out by how hairy that dude's chest and stomach was, and then how baby-like his face was?
No, yeah, I think it's just that like Max thought that he was fighting like a grown-ass man with the brain of a grown-ass man. Like he thought he was, going up against the mountain, but it turns up he's going up against like Sloth,
Someone who has the body of a grown-ass man and the head of like a, I don't know,
a toddler,
9-year-old kid. Yeah.
actual toddler.
But in Mad Max and Mad Max 2, no fucks would have been given. He'd been like, well, whatever, you or me. You
That's
or me.
why I'm so confused. Because like later on in the movie, he meets up with some kids. We'll talk about it. And he's literally like, "Fuck you guys! There's nothing out there. You're safer here." And
Fires
no.
weapons.
And now he's just making some kind of moral decision suddenly.
I'll tell you, there is
don't know.
a small difference between.
into sand, dead, gone, and he's just like, meh. But he can't kill this dude.
There is a small difference between like killing, like actually murdering a, I don't know, what's the term to use for
Child soldier.
Sure. I mean, what?
We would just deem it moose.
Oh.
No. There's a difference between murdering like a sloth from the Goonies and just punching a teenage girl in the face.
What I'm trying to say is that Apocalypse, whatever.
Yeah, like, it's me or you. Like, Max knows that if he doesn't do this, he's fucked.
It's legitimately pretty much the name of the game, me or you. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Just get on with it.
Yeah, like, this dude, he's not gonna stand over you and be like, no, he smiled at me, you know? He's gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah, it's like, I have issues killing this man who may have the mind of a child, but I almost flipped the guy over my shoulder off a tower 20 minutes ago.
For, you know, no reason other than he was actually just testing my combat abilities.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of get it. I get what they're going for here.
I get what they're going for. I don't like it.
Like, it's not a fair fight. Like, he thought it was a fair fight. It's not a fair fight.
It's a fair fight. This is a contest of strength to the death.
Wait, it's not a fair fight. He's run over people in a car before. They didn't have a car. He ran them over in
But
previous movies.
That wasn't...
He has shot unarmed people.
There are rules!
There's laws. There's laws.
Well, you know what?
No.
They say
Fucking Tina Turner.
Bust the
Tina
deal.
Turner-
Face the wheel. I said my piece and counted to 3.
Hold on. Tina Turner at the very beginning of... Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, at the beginning, before all this, Tina Turner said, 3 rules. No one can know you're working for me. 2, it's a fair fight. And 3, it's to the death. It's not a fair fight.
Oh, okay.
He does not have the mental capacity for this to be a fair fight.
He was swinging at him pretty hard.
He has absolutely the physical capacity. He does not have the mental capacity.
And he killed them all. I think that's just called fair. This dude can kill 20 guys. If you can get him, you got him. I mean, it wasn't like he plotted and made some grand scheme where he was like, do this math problem or you'll explode. He fought him on his own terms. Like, what are we doing here? Strumpf.
At this point, I understand both sides, but you also have to understand that 2 men enter, 1 man has to leave. He had the higher ground. He had him. You don't have to like it. He just has to do it.
I mean, because look, we're arguing about this, but they literally kill him anyways because it's the fucking.
So it doesn't matter.
God damn it!
Did it? He should have just killed the fucking guy. His nobility did nothing but fucking drag out and pad this goddamn movie's runtime of 2 fucking hours.
But it wasn't even padding because we're still in like the first half hour of the movie. It's actually happened pretty quickly.
This is where they get into the padding. Now he's exiled to the fucking gulag.
Yeah, but
they have to go out and spin the wheel of law.
Yeah, because for some reason every law has to rhyme. So since he fucked up the deal, you have to spin the wheel. It's like the wheel of misfortune.
She writes music. It's gotta...
Oh, fuck off.
Then now that fucking Tina Turner's in control of everything again, no more Blaster around. She can just kind of do what she wants to do with Master. You gotta... No, not like that. You see a scene of her, like, lowering Master to the pigs, and you think he's gonna get just, like, gnawed up by the pigs, but he's like, nah.
Yeah, we learned that snatch.
Dude, that little guy is really fighting with them pigs because they're bumping into him. He's like, no, get away! Just really trying to keep himself safe.
Well, they are literally bigger than he is. What do you expect?
Yeah, he probably weighs like 6 pounds. But he's not in the Thunderdome. He's in the pig pen.
Energy!
Oh, Christ.
Mad Max 5, Beyond Pigpen.
Oh. Yeah, but they gotta spin the wheel and he gets exiled to the gulag, where he's placed on a horse, put in a fucking oversized big boy head from Shoney's, and sent into the desert to die.
Now, my preconceived notion of a gulag is very Russian bloc. So I'm thinking he's going to be like thrown into a cell that's like got 10-foot concrete walls. But for some reason, in the apocalyptic future, gulag means tied to a horse and it's slapped on the ass, and you're just like shit out of luck.
So wait, you're telling me that these people sent a man with no name through the desert on a horse with no name. Through the desert on a horse with no name.
Fucking goddamn oversized propped heads.
Why are you mad at that?
Because it was unnecessary. This is where the movie falls apart for me. Like up to this point, it's whatever. I can kind of deal with it. And now it just becomes a whole different fucking movie. It's not even Mad Max anymore. It's like they wrote a quarter of a Mad Max film, and then they're like, well, what can we do? Well, we want to see how Hook would play out early on. Let's do Hook.
Okay. So, as I mentioned earlier, this movie does take a hard right turn. Like, suddenly we go from Mad Max, as you remember him, oh man, all this crazy shit, post-apocalyptic stuff, and everybody's just kind of killing each other. And that's where you kind of get Thunderdome from, that suddenly... Yeah, Lord of the Flies. Okay. Is there some? I'm sure there's some kind of. Yeah, I'm sure there's some kind of social commentary here, but I didn't fucking care.
Oh, don't forget that we also treated to remember that convict guy. Oh, he's back, and somehow he got a monkey, and he gave it some water and sent it out into the desert.
On a horse with no name.
Mm-hmm. And it somehow teleports right to Max, because this horse has been going all day and night, and then the rest of the whatever day when the monkey fucking finds him after it sucks the sand like Artax from Neverending Story.
Man, all this desert, it's making me thirsty.
Is it? Well, crack open a crispy boy.
I've already got it cracked open actually because I'm an alcoholic.
Tink, tink.
Oh, please tell me you've got a Foster's.
No. I've got the next best thing. What I've got is Cooper's original pale ale from somewhere in Australia. I don't fucking know. South Australia, Australia is what it says on the bottle.
I want to say Queensland. All of our Australian peeps, get at me.
Crikey.
No, I have to bleep that.
That's just an Australian swear word.
Yeah.
That's more damaging than cunt. All right, so I've got Cooper's original pale ale here from South Australia, Australia. It's not noteworthy in the slightest. Like it's got a little bit of malty sweetness to it. There's not any kind of real noticeable hop flavor. It's not green. It's not. It's a beer, man.
How does it make you feel down under?
I don't have a clever comeback for that. Y'all there?
So, just like recovering from this conversation, Mad Max happens upon this oasis in the desert.
Well, he's found after being given water by this monkey who just somehow was able to track him magically, instantly, through the desert. Refreshed, he begins to slog through the desert, where a sandstorm befalls him, to which he, oh no, faints and falls upon the monkey, which does not damage the monkey at all. He is then rescued in a very Monty Python Holy Grail-esque scene, and yay, he's alive.
So he's rescued by some bitch.
Mm-hmm. And don't worry,
this tiny little teenage girl too, and she like grabs him and like pulls him along, takes him back to her little civilization, which is just populated with children.
Alley of screaming kids, because that's what they do. They just fucking scream. Just literally, she gets halfway there and is like, ah, woo! And then the kids are like, Cookie Crisp, and they come running out to help.
Cookie Crisp?
Yeah.
Yes, it's the Cookie Crisp.
Sponsor us.
And it just looks like fucking Hook. It just looks like Peter Pan. Like, these kids come out, they drag him into the town, and they're like, you can fly, you can crow, zip lines are popular.
Instead of Neverland, they're looking for Tomorrowland.
I get it, but I don't like it.
I was literally hating the movie at this point. Like, I remember seeing this movie a bunch of times because it was on TV, always fucking on TV, and I always stopped watching it when it got here because I was like, why in the fuck is this even going on? Like, anything else could be happening. Like, the convict could have got loose. There could have been another, character introduced that's more important than these fucking children, because then we get all this just filler of these kids.
We don't care about any of the kids. Like, there's I guess the main teenage girl, Savannah. She's whatever. She's definitely the most important one of them to the story. But none of the other fucking hundreds of kids that are in this village matter. But,
literally 40 plus. I counted them whenever they're doing the Morrow member scene.
The only thing that's kind of saving this entire chunk of the movie is just Mel Gibson's indifference to everything. There's a ton of exposition of how the world's kind of falling apart between two in this movie. And that's kind of whatever. And every time the camera goes right back to Mel, he's just like, if I could kill all these kids, I'm out of here.
Yeah, and he's the first one to tell them, and he's not wrong. He's like, y'all are stupid for wanting to leave. He's like,
no.
This is the fucking paradise. What are you doing?
Yeah, like, you're in the middle of a fucking desert, and there's like a lake there. There's trees growing. There's like greenery.
They're covered in animal furs and birds, so they've got everything they could ever want.
You've got shelter surrounding you. Like, there's no reason to ever go anywhere in any direction.
You don't understand how good you've got it. This is the end of the line, bucko.
Yeah, the best thing that comes from this scene is like the foreshadowing of the war boy. We get like this fucking kite bird nonsense, but he gets this fucking cool ass hat because they think he's Walker, Texas Ranger, but not really Walker.
You said ass hat.
I did. The kids are like, oh, we got the wind up our ass, we can fly, and Max just looks at him and walks the fuck off. I loved it.
That's what made it entertaining. You're just Mad Max being Max again. He's like, I don't need to be here. This ain't me. Later. Peace.
Yeah, he's like, you guys need to stay here. And she's like, no, we're leaving. He's like, you're staying. And she's like, I'm leaving. He's like, punched in your face, bitch.
Yeah. Punches her straight up in the face. This is a teenage girl punches her straight up in the face.
It wasn't even like a haymaker or anything. He runs up, turns her around, pulls his hand up, clenches a fist, and pow!
Right in the kiss.
Yeah. Now, the whole scenario is actually fine. Like, if it were any other movie, I would have been on board. Like, there's hints of, like, these kids being the children of the people who were on that plane that crashed. I'm like, okay, it's fairly interesting. But none of this feels like Mad Max. The movie grinds to a halt.
Yeah, I was actually wondering, where did all these fucking kids come from? How long have they been there?
Well, I thought of that, like how long would it for, like, all this stuff to be forgotten? Then I realized, like, the time difference between the last movie isn't a whole lot. Maybe fucking 10, 15 years, something like that.
Which is roughly less than that.
I think it has to be more, because, like, he's got gray in his hair now.
Yeah, like, with their exposition, they explained that, the parents trekked out into the desert to try to find things, but no one ever came back, and so they've been passing along the story of what happened verbally.
Mm-hmm.
And
the telly.
God only knows how long it's been. At this point, who fucking cares? And then
I bet the kids fucking care.
They tie up the chick after they punched him in the face. But that's the thing, you don't care about the kids. They're never invested in enough to make you care. You're given 3 distinct characters to focus on. You get the fucking boy with the face paint like the war boy, you get the talking chick, and then you get the fucking I remember, everything's membered. I won't get me slack, member guy, and that's them.
They talk funny.
And there's fucking 40 of them, so you don't care. And I love that whenever, they fucking escape and they run off and Max has to go get them, all the kids are sitting there going like, "Whoa," and he's like, stop the noise.
I was so annoyed when that happened, because I thought, like, give me all the water that I can carry. I thought he was gonna fuck off. I was like, yeah, fuck off, Max, fuck him, whatever. But they wanted to catch it up to him, and it's like, saving the day. Yeah, I don't care. He doesn't care. He shouldn't care. Like, this whole time, he did not care.
But now he has to go on the fucking fetch quest.
Yeah, he rolls his eyes, he sighs, like, alright, I guess you're part of the gang now.
Yeah, and that's the part where they're like, oh, look, it took us, they got a half a day on us, but we found him real quick. One kid's getting sucked under. Well, he's dead. No one cries, no one cares. Look, it's Barter Town!
And well, there used to be in Down Under.
I wonder if he went like under the sand, swirling counterclockwise.
That's not a real thing.
Look, it's real in that world, goddammit. None of that's real.
It's
so
still real to me, damn it.
Well, I thought that was
Vegas.
real. It's like the Coriolis effect.
Yeah, no, that's not real.
I thought it was.
No.
No point to go to Australia anymore.
Yeah, what's the point?
Go deal with all the deadly things that are there.
Fucking everything is on fire and your poop doesn't even go down counterclockwise.
I am disappointed.
I feel like that would be a phenomenal scene. Like you know how like all the movies have like end credit scenes now, like Avengers films and all that. If Raising Arizona just is what it is, ends and it's like me and the missus decided to take a vacation, and then it shows him in Australia and he flushes the toilet down high, and he like turns around and he looks and the water's going the other way and he's like, huh, and it just ends like that.
That'd be great. She's like, hi, come in here. What is it, baby? He just kind of slinks in.
The water's
Burn.
Yeah, but now he gets him into Bartertown, and you get this real fucking, like, he goes through a pipe, and they're in the poop area, where the energy is made. And they got a baby doll all of a sudden that looks like Nathan Jr. And
at this point, the movie starts reminding me a whole lot of the Goonies.
Yes, it's very...
Yeah.
Like, we already got rid of Sloth, but it's still even more Goonies now.
Like I said earlier, it just turns into a Spielberg movie. It totally does. It has the same little Spielberg schmaltz where everything's kind of like an adventure and nothing really bad happens for the next 30 minutes.
Yep, zero stakes. Everything's gonna happen. No one's gonna get hurt. This not disturbed lead singer guy gets killed 4 times in the next hour.
He gets dropped into poopy.
Yeah, and did you guys get weirded out by the convict guy? The big hero that saves Max by sending the monkey? He's just sitting there petting a pig, like staring at a child deep in the eyes.
Yeah, he just points at him and goes,
Yeah, while he's just stroking a pig, and I was like, is he gonna fuck the pig? What the fuck is happening here? Like, this is weird.
This all like a big,
no, he's gonna
like
fuck
a big
the pig
euphemism.
and eat the pig like a normal person does. Cut that.
But it's time for a jailbreak, ladies and gentlemen.
Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak.
Where the kids start swinging around on ropes that you never saw, knocking people into things that you didn't know were there, things happen.
Yeah.
And then we're treated to another Indy scene as the last guard sees fucking Indy, hashtag Mad Max, and is like, uh-oh, I'm out of here. And he chases him around the corner. And, fucking Mad Max is hot on his trail. Oh, here he comes back. Oh, there's a bunch of baddies chasing him.
I don't remember any of this, until they start, busting the train out and, it's chugging along, I don't know, instead of fucking One-Eyed Willie's boat, it's the fucking shit train. I don't remember anything up until that.
Because it's just all kind of whatever.
Yeah.
It's inconsequential, because this whole thing is just to get them on that little train, just to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, but once we get on the train, we get, really going Fury Road style.
Dude!
There's kind of a lot of action.
I agree. The last bit of this movie is a lot of fun. I have it written down on my little notepad. As soon as they get on the Fury Railroad, this movie picks up.
Only took 90 minutes for it to happen.
I was like, this is it. This is Mad Max. All right.
Well, the beginning of the movie is pretty good, and the end of the movie is pretty good.
But in there, a sandwich is some pure energy.
Yo!
Yep. All right.
And then we're treated like some nonsensical scenes where, they get Rosetta Stone on vinyl. Car.
I like that.
See, I was thinking more Muzzy.
Oh, did you la Juvie?
Yeah. I don't even know what that means, but I remember it from the commercial.
La Vish Vingagwin. Just whatever the fuck they're saying in that commercial. It's so good, though. But we get not War Boy doing War Boy things, sitting on top of a car acting like a frying pan's a steering wheel, knocking out a dude's front teeth. You think
he gets the most dangerous weapon in the whole fucking movie is this frying pan, this cast iron skillet.
Yeah, he knocks dude's teeth out immediately with it. And then the convict dude is sitting there and, not disturbed, pulls up on him and he points a harpoon gun again and he's like, oh hey, no, don't do that, and then just shoots him with it and through the leg. But he never.
Yeah, he's just
straight
like,
through the door and into his leg, and it's like he doesn't even notice. To be honest, it's just like a harpoon is in his leg, and he's just like, well, I guess this is who I am now.
yeah, he notices. He looks down. He's just like, oh, like he's gonna be killed.
And then Not Disturbed guy gets in front of the train thing for some reason, and his car goes splody. But no one dies. Remember, they have to show you that he's now stuck on the front. This is death number 2 in the last fucking 30 minutes.
Yeah, he becomes the train's blood bag. I guess.
Oh, nice. But it's so fucking dusty. Like, they start showing you all these cool scenes that you could tell if the dust wasn't kicked up so bad that they would be a lot more epic than they are, but the dust kind of hides a lot of what's going on.
That's fine. It's so fast paced. It's so the sound's really good. It's a lot of fun. It works. Like, for what they had, it really works. Like,
Now,
I don't want to bring up Fury Road. That's like an impossibility at that point, but whatever they did in 85 or whatever this was made, I liked it. I liked it quite a bit.
I did really enjoy the fact that they convinced Tina Turner to step off of a moving vehicle onto a moving train, all in frame. It was really cool.
Oh yeah, everything's practical. Everything's actually happening. I think this is where George Miller shines. He's a really good action director.
They even have like a what that Hobbs and Snatch or whatever the fuck it is with The Rock.
Hobbs and
Snatch.
He like holds a helicopter with a chain. Well, there's a scene kind of similar to that. The train is uncoupling, and she's like, "Hold the train," and this dude just like grabs one half of the train, and that's good enough. He's holding.
She's like, "Pull the pin." No, wait, hold on. Give it another minute. Well, I already did it. All right, I gotta hold on for just a minute.
For a half second, I thought he was gonna stretch out like. Bang.
And so she grabs up the fucking the little master, the little dwarf fella, and holds him up like ha ha, and whoop, just cartoon style. Max yanks him out of her hands.
Grabs him, puts him under his arm, and jumps to the train. And was like, "Whoop! You didn't see me."
Yeah,
touched him like a football, make the jump. Yeah.
Is dwarf snatching a porn category?
What?
Yet.
Sponsor.
So this is where we get, to me, the fucking coolest stunt in the entire film with fake Disturbed guy. He's like hanging off this pole off the side of the train, and they're going across a bridge, and there's literally fucking metal things protruding up, and this guy is risking life and limb and just lifting himself over these things again and again and again, all for this shot, which I thought was fucking nuts.
For that moment, those are service ladders, and I was just like, oh shit, this is real. If he fucked up, he would have been chopped in half.
Straight up reminded me of a scene from Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West. Jim West.
You mean if he were cut in half, and he'd have to grow a sweet mustache and twirl around in a wheelchair?
Oh, I give 24 foot of small intestine for this Confederacy.
At least he won't lose his sense of humor.
Yeah, but he dodges all that, and then there's a Looney Tunes bit of the kid sawing through the little bar that he's hanging on.
Barely, and it just falls off.
Like, so much of this is fucking Looney Tunes at this point. But it's entertaining, because Looney Tunes is entertaining. But this is live action Looney Tunes.
Even the dialogue is just like campy as hell. Like when Max pulls up to like the driver's seat, and he's like, "Okay, what's the plan?" He's like, "What plan? No plan.
Got no plan."
Yeah.
So please tell folks at home what we're doing. Looks directly into the camera. I don't know. Just
all right.
So Tina and them all have to get off the train because, the uncoupling and such. And Max and them make the big getaway. But they run out of track. Good thing they slam on the brakes just in time to get stopped in front of this barricade where Safari Kid, the child from earlier.
From Jumanji? Yeah.
Yes. Is like, if any of you fucking pricks move, I'll execute every last motherfucking one of you. But not really.
What?
That was Pulp Fiction.
Oh. So yeah, and we get him run into a little underground bunker then.
Like Brady was kind of saying, like, he's like, hey, get out of the train or you're fucked. And he peeks behind the train and sees everybody driving towards him. He's like, oh wait, we're fucked. Yeet.
Yeet.
Yes. he 110 yeets right out of there. And so they go down this deep tunnel, and the dad, he's like, Dad, there's people coming. He's like, yeah, I bet there are. He goes, Dad, we're screwed. Let's go. And he's like, oh, whatever. And then everyone just goes running down the hallway, and he's like, you? And he's like, me? You got a plane? He goes, I do?
I think he was just trying to play super innocent because he knew he fucked him over to begin with, and he didn't expect to see him after that.
Yeah. And so we're already shown the interior of this plane in the opening literal 5 seconds of the movie. And it fits 2 people. That is it. Even when there's,
I feel like 2 people still a pretty tight squeeze.
well,
Yeah,
it's like
just
a child who's like 5.
It's shaped like a flea.
Ooh,
yeah.
he is a flea with wings.
It's like somebody took a plane and just like smushed it. It's like a pug of a plane.
Yeah.
But all these people go and they pile into this fucking airplane, which there's no. It's like a clown car. There's no fucking way they fit, let alone take off. But that is addressed.
Is it?
I mean, having a success in the sky, little Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, they're in the plane. He's like, "Look, we ain't gonna take off. We're too heavy." He's like, "Well, drop all this shit." And I was like, "Okay." So they drop all this shit, and he's like, "Well, there's not enough runway." And he goes, "Well, there will be once I make the ultimate Max sacrifice." Yeah. So
He's
Max
been
Sully's
waiting
fourth.
Minutes. That's fun.
Yeah, Max Sully's fourth against the forces of Cobra. Because whenever you're in trouble and you need a hand, G.I. Joe is there.
G.I. Joe.
Exactly. So he gets in that car, fucking zooms at him. They smash into some shit. It's really cool because they timed it extremely well. For as soon as the 2 cars smash into each other, the plane flies over the smashing cars, which is fucking neat. But also,
the whole time I'm thinking like they didn't have to go backwards. They could have just like went to the side.
yeah, there's fucking desert in every direction, and it's all the same flat fucking desert.
I thought about that too, but plot,
It's kind of like in Star Wars, whenever, Kylo tries to find, the place where he has to take the MacGuffin to get there, and it shows like that cancer cloud of space that, is so dangerous, but he could have just flew over it or around it.
Don't you hate when movies just have to movie?
Yeah.
Just real quick, I'll probably cut it out, but apparently if you listen to the DVD commentary of Armageddon with Ben Affleck, 1, he's drunk. 2, he recounts a story that he and Michael Bay were just talking over lunch, and he's like, wouldn't it be easier to train astronauts like drillers than to fly drillers out into the outer space? And he told him to shut the fuck up.
Yep.
But pretty much the Seahawks really could have used some of that blocking that Max did there yesterday, because he threw a hell of a block to get those guys up in the air.
But technically, did he? Because he flew over both the cars, so that shows you that Max really didn't have to do that, and he still would have taken off.
He had a good, even if he would have taken off at the same time, he still would have lifted off before he got to the truck.
Yep.
Once more, movie. I know you got a movie. It's okay.
It's okay. It was a cool scene. It was worth it.
Yeah.
But, Max had him done for now, right?
I guess. This movie kind of peters out. Okay, Max is now stranded. The kids take off in the plane. They're all happy about it.
But they're looking out the windows by hanging out the windows of a moving plane?
I mean, safety first. I don't know.
Yeah, but wouldn't they be like, but it's it's fine.
They actually lose another kid. He catches too much air in his mouth.
Oh no! He gone bye to Tomorrowland.
Tina Turner rolls up on Max. He's like, huh, later, warrior, or whatever, and just leaves. Alright.
Ain't we a pair, Raggedy Man? No?
Yeah, I don't understand why she just leaves them.
Well, I get it. He could kill him or just leave him by himself in the desert with no way to get anywhere. Fine.
This is what he does. He scavenges in the wasteland. So, her leaving him there, he's like, all right, this is Monday, man. This is my everyday.
Yeah, I'm not even sad, Max, about it. I got
it. Sad Max.
I think that whole thing was just so they could, the kids can make it to Sydney. They find out that it has been bombed, and they can kind of reflect on it. and then they just have like a shot of Mad Max back in his like desert garb into the sunset, just being that drifter guy.
Yeah, like just keep their options open just in case there's a Mad Max 4.
But like, what blows me away is the exposition closing bit. You know, babies having babies, all that stuff. They left a fucking oasis for a ruined, dusty ass city.
I mean, just like Red Roof Inn, they'll keep the lights on for him.
They do say that.
We didn't really get into detail about how, like, the condition of the Sydney ruins. I mean, at least they can live inside now. Like, it's a broken inside, but it's an inside. That's still...
They got lights.
They flew around that famous bridge and it's broken. There's no water. So
there's no water. There's no fucking electricity. There aren't thousands of pigs like in Bartertown. I mean, it's just what did we do? Oh, we came to the Morrow land to die quietly. You know, like what the fuck?
I mean, in that big city, there's got to be water somewhere. There's got to be some kind of resources. They didn't have access to the pigs.
Australia is still on fire because there isn't water in it.
No.
Huh?
Huh? Like I said it before, I really, really, really love the world building. I like the sets. All the fucking, props and practical effects that are used here are super fun. Some of it's super campy. The entire subplot of the fucking airplane kids from Hook could have just been wiped the fuck off. Never been there. The movie could have been an hour and 20 and been semi-phenomenal.
I have to bolster those remarks. The middle act of this movie is a big foot on the brakes. Doesn't really go anywhere, per se. I know the movie has to movie, and you kind of need those people for later on. But it's not Mad Max, and it wasn't that entertaining. Otherwise, the movie's fine.
I'm really interested in the world that's going on and the idea of Mad Max. I think I'd be more interested in what happened between Mad Max 2 and Mad Max 3 than what happened in Mad Max 3. So, get at us. I mean, I think you got a couple more movies left in you. Can we get a 2.5?
You talking about Mel? Mel's all about it. They should have brought him back.
No, I'm talking about George Miller.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking like they brought him back.
What's it? Tom Hardy was good. That's fine.
You thought so? I thought it was boring. He just went a bunch.
I don't care who plays any of the characters. I just want another story in this world.
Fair enough.
I want my man, fucking Melly Gibson, racist ass Melly Gibson out there, redeemed in the eyes of the Lord.
Well, isn't that his full name? Max, in parentheses, Sugar Tits Rockatansky?
Yeah. I would love to see him come back as the character, because to me, Tom Hardy is, he's a good actor. He is. Venom aside. I don't want to see this iconic person who... Mel still... there was no action, really, for Tom Hardy. He was a fucking hood ornament for most of the film. Mel Gibson could have done that, and I would have appreciated it more.
In regard to that, it was kind of odd for the recast, but also say that Fury Road is the fourth movie, like chronologically. Even though story-wise, it feel like it would kind of fit between 2 and 3. Because by the time Thunderdome comes around, he's got older hair, he's much more just beat down and everything.
Yeah.
And plus his car is gone.
Not to mention, like, if you wanted to really know the full story of this newest Mad Max, you had to read, like, the little comic they released for it. You had to play the fucking video game.
First of all, video game was good. Secondly, I do not like how I have to have additional content to understand the story of a movie. It's the movie's job to tell me that story.
Because the whole thing with the little girl, like, you don't even know what the fuck that's all about. You're just like, is this his daughter? Like, I don't get it.
I have a lot of questions about the, where all these kids came from. Maybe, like, the parents ended up at Junkertown or fucking, what's it called?
They're the kids from the plane crash.
Yeah, but where are their fucking parents? They weren't just all unaccompanied minors.
Well, they
ventured off
to try to find the cities.
Right.
Never came.
You think they just ended up in fucking... What's the name of that? Bartertown? Think they all just ended up in Bartertown, just like, we're not going back there.
They're working brothels. They're like, but, I mean, why wouldn't you go back? I'd be like, fuck Bartertown. I'm going to go back to the Oasis. It's fucking sweet there.
Maybe they found good jobs. They can sleep inside at least.
What do they do? Work in a brothel?
I mean, maybe.
I'm not trying to get pounded in the bee for a fucking roof over my head.
Maybe they're doing the bee pounding.
So that was Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. If you'd like to share your experiences inside the Thunderdome, please leave it in the comments below.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure to tap that little bell icon so you know next time we've got another one of these brewing.
Make sure you get out there and you follow us on all of our different social media accounts. We got that Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We got a wonderful administrator that makes sure that what you hear today, you can tell the born tomorrow.
2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
What?
Did you just eat your microphone?
Poppy!
Oh, god, fuck it, we're done.